from the team you can trust. This is News 8 at 6.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to News 8's web edition. New York State Attorney General Letitia James says she is bringing the Daniel Prude case before a grand jury. She came to Rochester to talk about the case today. Her office is investigating police action in connection with Prude's death and the protests that have followed. Adam Chodak reports.
Maureen, Attorney General Letitia James held her news conference here at Enon Missionary Baptist Church. She offered condolences to Daniel Prude's family, noting that today would have been his birthday. She said she couldn't get into the specifics of the case because it's going to a grand jury, but added the reason they're doing this is so they can consider charges for the police officers involved in Prude's death. She went on to say that she has not or did not see the body camera video until recently, and I asked her what she thought of it. She offered this very short answer. Letitia James says she visited both Buffalo and Rochester this weekend to, in her words, bring healing.
Unfortunately, these killings are nothing new, but more people are awakened to a truth that many of us have known for a long time. And so we need a full review about what it is the police currently do and a community-led re-evaluation of what we, the public, would want them to do, especially when it comes in response to a mental health crisis.
As for the Prude case, James says she only recently watched the body cam video, which we're about to show, and she says she was outraged. She also said her office did not request that the city keep the video from becoming public, saying it was only the AG's policy not to release the video.
Whether or not they use that as an excuse to suppress the video is anyone's guess. But I'm confident that Ms. Summers did not intimate, suggest, or otherwise indicate to the authorities that they should suppress the video.
Either way, James says this case prompted her to change policy in these cases. The AG's office will now release body cam video earlier and without input from local authorities.
This new policy will help to prevent instances where the public has been kept in the dark for far too long, such as what happened in the Prude case.
James also had a conversation today with local protesters, and on that note, she says that her Civil Rights Division might investigate the interactions between protesters and police on the streets of the city of Rochester this month. Reporting from Rochester, Adam Chodak, News 8.
All right, thank you, Adam. Today, protesters with Free the People ROC are celebrating what would have been Daniel Prude's birthday. Hundreds of people are gathering right now for this event. The group organized a celebration at Martin Luther King Jr. Park downtown. They've also been protesting for more than 2 straight weeks after finding out about Prude's death. Most recently, protesters have been posted outside City Hall calling for the resignation of Rochester Mayor Lovely Warren. But today, they say it's all about celebrating Prude's life and his family's efforts to bring justice for him. We will hear from organizers at this event tonight on News 8 at 11. Now for this weekend's mass shooting in Rochester. So far, police have made no arrests after 16 people were shot at a house party on Pennsylvania Avenue early Saturday morning. 2 people were killed. Police say 4 to 5 people at the party got into a fight and decided to settle it with guns. This tragedy was another example of Rochester's gun violence problem. According to Rochester police data, there have been more than 180 shootings this year, with more than 200 total victims. Jack Watson joining us now from the newsroom. Jack, this is truly a very tough issue, and it is bad this year.
Absolutely, Maureen. Police data says the amount of shootings this year has already surpassed last year's total, which was just over 150. This weekend's mass shooting is already being called one of the worst acts of gun violence in our city's history. Rochester City Councilman Willie Lightfoot leads the ROC Against Gun Violence Coalition aimed at ending gun violence in the city. In an interview today with me, he gave condolences to the victims' families. He tells me Rochester is hurting right now, and too few people think through the consequences when they decide to use a gun.
People have to have a better accountability as to not pulling the trigger. You know, we have a saying in our ROC Against Gun Violence. We have billboards all over the city. A shot from a gun can't be undone. Think about it. You know, think about what that's going to do to yourself. Loss of life of you going to prison, to that family that has lost a life and that's mourning and that can never get that life back.
Maureen, that coalition meets a few times a year. Next Wednesday, the 30th, the coalition will meet over Zoom to talk about its efforts to eradicate gun violence in Rochester. We will dive deeper into the gun violence issue in our city tonight at 11, Maureen.
All right, Jack, thank you. We continue our coverage now with Josh Navarro, who found a community in mourning over the 2 young people who were killed this weekend. Counselors were available at both UPrep Charter School and East High School, the alma mater of these students. Josh Navarro spoke to school leaders today about healing. Josh?
Maureen, it was a somber atmosphere at both schools where Jarvis Alexander and Jaquela Johnson attended. Students and staff were heartbroken to lose these students during a senseless act of violence, according to them. Over at East High School, we learned more about Jaquela Johnson. That is, she was a cheerleader and on the dance team. School officials say she had a passion for writing. Meantime, UPrep also opened their doors today so students could lean on each other and heal. UPrep is where Jarvis Alexander was an outstanding athlete, a former football player and track star. I spoke to UPrep CEO. Here's what he had to say about Jarvis.
He showed us what perseverance looks like. He wasn't always the best student, and then he changed. He realized that he saw his potential. He realized that he had a bright future ahead of him.
Now, both schools have sent their condolences to both families. Coming up at 11, we'll hear from Jarvis's coach and close classmates. In the studio, I'm Josh Navarro, News 8.
All right, Josh, thank you. Rochester police say hundreds of people were at the party when violence broke out, and they are asking anyone with information to come forward. Now to the latest on COVID-19. 2 students at Greece Arcadia High School have tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. That has been confirmed by the Greece Central School District. The Monroe County Department of Health is working to contact anyone who may have been in close proximity with those students. But in the meantime, you should know Greece Arcadia will remain open and in-person classes will continue as scheduled Monday morning. Monroe County is reporting 15 new COVID cases in the past 24 hours and 0 new deaths. Ontario County reported 4 newly confirmed cases today, one of them a college student, and Livingston County is reporting 16 active cases of COVID-19. SUNY Brockport's men's soccer program has been suspended after several students on that team were involved in a large gathering. Those students were also placed on interim suspension for violating the school's COVID safety rules. SUNY Chancellor Jim Malatra says he supports the decision, and in this statement today, he said, quote, "We must continue to send a loud and clear message that we will not tolerate blatant violations during this new normal. It's unfair to students, faculty, staff, and families who've done so much to reopen our colleges and universities." The guidelines include testing and are part of an effort to prevent outbreaks of COVID-19 on college campuses. The Buffalo Bills delivered the goods today. Thad Brown is here now with a recap. A great game, Thad.
Maureen, great does not even really cover it. It was an amazing day for Josh Allen, just about a dream day for Bills fans. Allen passed for a career high 417 yards and 4 touchdowns. No interceptions, no turnovers. He also led the Bills on another fourth quarter comeback. The go-ahead TD, an incredible, perfect touch pass to rookie Gabriel Davis. The Bills won 31-28, and most important, they now firmly believe they have their quarterback for a long time.
This offseason, we worked really hard. There's a lot of people behind, what's going on behind the scenes, just trying to make things right. But again, I think it goes to the knowledge of the offense, knowing your protection, knowing what can hurt you, knowing your answers if you see something, and getting yourself out of a bad situation. I think that's the job of the quarterback, is not to get in the right play every time, but to get out of wrong plays.
He's got ice water in his veins, man. I mean, the guy there's no moment too big for him. That was true from the very start when we got him here, quite honestly. And I'm proud of the way the guys, I think, are developing a mindset, right? That, adversity we faced last week, all the way, going back to the start of training camp with COVID and the adversity we saw last week, the adversity we saw today, a lot of challenges, and Josh is the leader.
Allen's teammates were blown away when they were told of his stat line after the game, but they knew he was capable. Devin Singletary said, quote, "Josh was just doing what Josh do. He's our general." We will have a whole lot more when Alexa Ross joins me for Bills Game Day recap at 7:45 on RochesterFirst.com, and of course tonight at 11. Until then, I'm Thad Brown. Maureen?
Can't wait for 7:45. Thanks, Thad. Let's check in now with meteorologist James Gilbert. James, if they defined perfect in weather, today would have been it.
Yeah, I think so. You may have had to put a jacket on for the morning dog walk, but otherwise not too bad. We tied a record this morning. Sunday low temperatures 36 degrees, tied the record of 36 in 1993. Right now, just picture perfect, beautiful, mid to upper 50s. We just climbed into the lower 60s by the afternoon. Another round of frost advisories, freeze-it warnings, even for Steuben County, well south of our region. But yeah, Finger Lakes. Going to watch for those temperatures just dip into the upper 30s. Going to want to take care of those sensitive plants. But otherwise, we'll have a nice night. Clear sky is going to be another one that you'll probably need a jacket if you're out the door early Monday morning. But otherwise, picture perfect. We've got a really nice long stretch, high pressure, keeping us dry for the next several days. We'll watch the temperatures climb up, up, and away. It's like we've hit the lotto with this forecast. Tomorrow, mid to upper 60s, low 70s. Tuesday, mid 70s. Wednesday, we're going to start to see some dry grass, I think, over the next few days as we're kind of looking for some water. Hey, by the way, autumnal equinox is Tuesday. Turn the clock. Yes, it is fall. That begins at 9:30 in the morning. Daylight saving time, that's in November. That's when you really turn the clock. But what is an equinox? Basically, the sun's light passes south over the equator. So yes, the daylight is getting shorter and shorter. So that's what's going to happen on Tuesday. We can officially say it's fall. It's going to feel like it tomorrow morning. Frosty start to your Monday. Sunny skies dominating the extended forecast, and we've got a slow warming trend. I think there's a possibility that we could see 80 degrees by next weekend. Check this out, 79, that's the number that jumps out at me on Saturday. Do we get there? It's possible. It's a week out still, but something to watch out for. Otherwise, the precipitation chances are just so low. We just have a really nice stretch over the next couple days, Maureen.
Oh, gosh, I can't wait. Thanks, James.
Yep.
And thank you for joining us, everyone. That's News 8 at 6 web edition. Stay with RochesterFirst.com for the latest news through the evening. And, of course, join us over on Channel 8 for News 8 at 11 tonight. Have a great evening.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and our apps for both news and weather.